Good morning and welcome back to Music Thursdays with Mr. S. Hope you guys are having a great distance learning time period. I know things are tough all over, but I really appreciate you guys stopping in for these videos and checking out what we're doing and learning along with us. Okay? So today, we're going to talk about some classical music. Now, wait, stop. Don't turn the video off. Don't turn it off. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, Mr. S, I never heard classical music. I don't listen to classical music. You got a lot of nerve, mister. Besides, you're wrong. I'm just kidding. Actually, you do listen to classical music, whether you realize it or not. When you watch TV or your favorite films, or anything that has classical instruments, you've heard classical music. In fact, one example of this is when we had talked about the Nutcracker during class time, we had found out all the places that we had heard music from Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker. So, today, we're going to check out another composer and another piece of music. The composer, ladies and gentlemen, is Gioacchino Rossini. Gioacchino Rossini. And the piece of music we're checking out today is the William Tell Overture. Now, once again, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Mr. S, I've never heard of this piece of music. I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, I think maybe you have. Just watch this.
The Lone Ranger. Hail Silver! A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and...
See, I told you you'd probably heard it before. It was the theme of the classic show, The Lone Ranger. If you don't know that show, you may want to ask your parents, your grandparents about that one. But that show used Rossini's The William Tell Overture. So, before we get too far into the William Tell Overture, though, I'm going to tell you a quick story. And the reason I'm telling you the story is because we need to understand these characters in this story before we apply it to the William Tell Overture. And you're going to find that the characters in our story use the William Tell Overture to help them achieve their goals as well. So you ready? Here we go. The story, ladies and gentlemen, is called The Great Race. Many years ago, there lived a very special horse by the name of Old Joe. Old Joe was born in a small red barn just outside Winnipeg, Manitoba, on the beautiful prairies. You guys know where Winnipeg is? In Manitoba? It's in Canada, right there! From the moment he came into the world, Joe's parents knew he was special. Old Joe was special because he was a very kind of hard-working horse who was full of determination. He never gave up. Old Joe had a secret love for classical music. He especially loved the music of the great composer Rossini, Gioacchino Rossini. Old Joe worked hard for his farmer Bob. He helped pull carts of wood, hay, and occasionally even pulled the farmer's children, Annika, Lauren, and Charlie. Old Joe was always happy to help and would never turn down a job when asked. The children often gave him tasty treats such as apples and carrots to reward him for all of his hard work. Old Joe's greatest dream was to become a racehorse that would race at the Prairie Downs racetrack. This racetrack was only a few miles on the farm and on good days. Joe could even hear all the sounds of the horses galloping at the tracks. While the older horses napped, Joe practiced racing through the fields. He would imagine himself running at the racetrack. Every single day, Old Joe would practice, and practice. He believed that he could do whatever he wanted to with hard work and practice. Joe kept practicing for many years, and although he was getting older, all his practice time was making him stronger and faster. Annika, Farmer Bob's eldest child, would often hop onto Old Joe's back and pretend that she was racing him as if she was a jockey at the racetrack. Annika knew all the tricks to make Old Joe go speedy fast. She knew that she sang and tapped her reins to Old Joe's favorite song, the William Tell Overture. While riding him, he ran his very best. Strangely enough, this was the same song that was the official racing song at the Prairie Downs racetrack. They even had a special trophy called the William Tell Cup for the horse that tried his very best. Old Joe was wise, and he knew that the Prairie Downs racetrack horses had to switch directions halfway through the race. To prepare for this, he practiced switching directions when he heard Section B in William Tell's Overture. During the second section, Annika knew that by lightly tapping the horsewhip on his hindquarters to the beat of the music, Old Joe would be encouraged to keep up his pace and push as hard as he could. Together, they made a great team. One day, while Farmer Bob was working quietly in the fields, he saw Annika and Old Joe practice. Old Joe ran as fast as lightning as he galloped through the fields. Farmer Bob was amazed at the sight. He thought he must soon be dreaming, but realized that it was Old Joe. Farmer Bob quickly ran back to the house to phone his good friend, who happened to be a horse trainer at the Prairie Downs racetrack. The next day, the trainer from the racetrack came to pay a special visit to the farm. The trainer asked Old Joe if he could watch him race. With Annika saddled up on his back and the joyous sound of "Gee-up!" Old Joe was off. They raced around the field faster than the wind. The trainer was very pleased with how fast Old Joe was and invited him and his jockey Annika to race at the racetrack. On the day of the great race, Farmer Bob, Lauren, Charlie, and many other friends gathered to cheer on Old Joe and Annika. At the sound of the trumpets, Old Joe and the other horses took their positions at the starting gates. The horses were off. Old Joe's heart was pounding as fast as it could as he raced around the racetrack. The crowd cheered on Joe as he ran the fastest race of his life. The race was fierce with the sounds of the horses' hooves beating down wildly. To everyone's surprise and delight, Old Joe soon took the lead. Everyone cheered as they knew that Old Joe had worked so hard for this special moment. To make the day even more glorious, Old Joe was awarded the William Tell Cup for his great efforts. What a great day it was for Old Joe. All right, so today we are going to reenact Old Joe's race, and we're going to use the William Tell Overture to help us do that. So, before we do this, though, we are going to have to learn some training tips, okay? We are going to have to learn how to march, how to hop, how to jump, skip, and gallop, because this is all part of Old Joe's training plan, okay? So, let's listen, but before we do that, let's quickly listen to the William Tell Overture. Here we go. Okay, welcome back. Did you guys get that? Hopefully you did. At least you got up and got some movement then, too. So, first thing we're going to do is practice the A section to the song, okay? The A section. And we're going to sing these words as we sing the A section. So it's going to go like this. Echo after me. Giddy up, old Joe. Very good. Echo after me. Giddy up, old Joe. Excellent. Giddy up, old Joe. Giddy up, yo-ho. Excellent. Can you do the first line with me? Giddy up, old Joe. Giddy up, old Joe. Very good. Giddy up, old Joe. Giddy up, yo-ho. Excellent. Let's see if we can do that all together. 1, 2, here we go. Giddy up, old Joe. Giddy up, old Joe. Giddy up, old Joe. Giddy up, yo ho. Giddy up, old Joe. Giddy up, old Joe. Giddy up, old Joe. Giddy up, yo ho. Very good. Very, very, very good. Now, we are going to tap the beat this time as we sing that. So let's find our hands, or if you have your sticks from last week, you can use those too. Let's tap the steady pulse as we listen for section A. 1, 2, here we go. Giddy up, old Joe. Giddy up, old Joe. Giddy up, yo, Joe. Giddy up, yo ho. Giddy up, old Joe. Giddy up, yo, Joe. Giddy up, old Joe. Giddy up, yo ho. Excellent, very good. Now, for section B, that's only section A. For section B, we are going to practice our galloping. Okay, so for section B, we're going to have to learn how to gallop. And we're going to have to learn how to change directions for section B. Okay, so for next week, we'll check out section B and we'll go into part 2 of the William Tell Overture. But I'll leave you today with one more time listening to Rossini's The William Tell Overture. See you next time, guys.